This is turn 9 recap of our AD 43 Roman invasion of Britain campaign. And the campaign that we're using is found in the Shatter of Spears, Thunder of Chariots rulebook that I've released, and you can find that on my Ko-fi channel. So as a recap of turn 8, where did things lie? In the south, the Durotriges, Britain allies, had been forced out of Artabates territories by the Romans and their allies. The Iceni, they'd been pursued through their territory and had taken up residence back in their capital. And in Catuvellauna itself, Caratacus and his forces were being hotly pursued by the Romans. Roman orders this turn. The legion in Iceni territory were to pursue the enemy and then not quite siege, but just screen their capital. The Trinovanti allies in Catuvellauna territory were to pursue and again screen off the forces under Caratacus, while the Roman legions themselves were going to march on Rata, which is the capital of that province or that territory. Down in the south, the Roman order was to head towards the Durotriges' capital of Lindis, or Lindinus, and destroy anything that they find en route. So a pretty straightforward plan for them. And for the Britons, the Durotriges tribe unfortunately had an unfortunate order which meant that they couldn't withdraw, so they were stuck waiting to defend against the Roman onslaught. Whilst in the north, Caratacus decided he was going to go across the border into the Coriel-Talvi territory and hope that he would be able to swing them to join his forces and his alliance. Unfortunately, the roll went against him and they became incredibly hostile and started pursuing him, so he made back across the border to engage with the Trinovantes. And I just want to quickly apologise. This turn, or this weekend, I was really swamped with work and other commitments, so I wasn't able to film and edit the battles. So today we won't have any battle reports, it'll just be an update on what occurred. So that means we've got 3 battles this turn. The first one we're going to be doing in the south, which is the Romans versus the Durotriges. The Romans outnumbered them, and it was a slaughter. I'm not going to lie, the Durotriges warriors, they put up a stoic resistance, but were overwhelmed, and the Romans just pursued them to their destruction. As for our second battle, that was the Romans marching on the capital of Rata, or Ratae. This time, again, because the capital had been besieged for I think 3 turns, their defending forces were pretty well spent. There was barely anything left. So again, it went down to a roll, and the city just capitulated. So no fight there, just a Roman victory. So far, that's 2-0 to the Romans this turn. So we get to our third battle, which is the Catuvellauna under Caratacus himself. So as we saw, they'd withdrawn across the border to try and get some allies. It hadn't worked out for them, and they were being hotly pursued back into their own territory, where the Trinovantes had marched north and were now screening them. So you've got Caratacus and his troops, with Coriel-Talvi troops coming after him, trying to break through this line. And amazingly, he was able to do it. His forces, they smashed the Trinovantes decisively, and even despite the tribal warriors who were in that local village coming down, he was able to break them as well. So a great victory for Caratacus this turn. So as a turn, it ends up with 2 victories for the Romans and 1 defeat, and 1 victory for the Britons and 2 defeats. So a bit of a mixed bag there. But this is our position at the end. So in the sort of the northern Catuvellauna area, we've got Caratacus with his forces still pretty strong, trying to make up their mind now. What are they going to do? Are they going to march on the capital? Are they going to go and help try and relieve the Iceni? Or are they going to go against the Coriel-Talvi? Down in the south, the Durotriges' ground forces are broken, so the Romans are now ready to besiege their capital. Likewise in Iceni territory, the capital is all but besieged. So it's going to be a very tricky situation for the Britons to extricate themselves from, if they even can. So this is our strategic positions at the end of the turn. So if you want to vote on what we're doing next, head over to the YouTube page, the homepage, and go on to posts, and that's where I will post the different options for both sides. Also, head over to the Discord channel if you want to get a little bit more involved and work together so you can join the Britons or the Romans, and you can come up with your own plans. You can speak to me behind the scenes on setting up ambushes, even assassination attempts. That's where you'll do that, so you can get a little bit more in detail if you wish to. The links are down in the description for all of the different locations. But anyway, again, the rules that we're using for fighting the battles and the campaign are my own. It's called Shatter of Spears. It's available on my Ko-fi channel, so please jump on over to there to get a copy of that so you can play along as we are, and also you can understand a bit more about all the dynamics of the campaign itself. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe so you won't miss out in the future, and go and check us out on the Facebook page so you'll also be kept updated. And until next time, just keep gaming. Thanks guys.